Hi, today I'm going to be cooking a blue cheese souffle. You don't have to use blue cheese, you can use any cheese such as cheddar if you prefer, but blue cheese is what I've got in the fridge, so blue cheese souffle it is. Okay, the ingredients you're going to need for this souffle: you're going to need eggs, unsalted butter, plain flour and blue cheese. Easy. Okay, now to separate the eggs. You want to separate the whites from the yolks, crack the shell and just pull open. You can see the whites coming out of the shell there, and you're just going to transfer the yolk from one side to the other. Okay, and the yolk goes into there. Once you've separated the eggs, so you've got the whites separated from the yolks, you want to take a whisk and you want to whisk the eggs. You can obviously use a machine for this, but I'm going to whisk them by hand. Okay, you want to whisk your eggs until when you lift them up they just form soft peaks. It just stands up there. Okay, and then they are ready. Next up, you want to take your oven-proof dish, you want to take some butter, and you want to grease the inside of the dish and all the way round the sides as well. Okay. Once you've done that, you're going to take some plain flour, a little bit of plain flour into the bottom, and you're just going to move the plain flour around. Okay, so it coats all of the butter that's on the edge there. The reason you do that is once you put your egg and your mixture into the oven, you want it to be able to rise, and the flour and the butter on the sides of the dish will stop the mixture sticking to the sides and will enable you to get a nice clean rise. Thinking about the bowl, this is the only bowl that I've got that's sort of suitable for a souffle, but if you get one with straighter sides, it actually will rise even more. Okay, the next stage is to begin to melt some butter. Alright, so you're just going to pop your butter into the hob over a gentle heat and the butter will begin to melt. We're then going to create a roux. So this is once the butter is melted, I'll tip the flour in and I will stir it together. When I was showing you the ingredients, I did forget to tell you that we do need milk. So I'll talk about that when we move into the next stage. Once your butter has melted, it's time to start to incorporate the flour. So I'll use the flour that I put in the side of my dish. Stir in as we're adding. And you just need to stir the flour till it's fully incorporated in with the melted butter. Once you're at this stage, you do want to just keep stirring the butter and flour together. This is called a roux, and you want to just continue to cook this over the heat. If you don't do this, you end up with sort of a raw flour taste in the final dish, which isn't very nice. So just needs a couple of minutes cooking and stirring over this heat. So my butter and flour, I said a couple of minutes cooking over a gentle heat. Time to start adding the milk. Whisk as you're adding. You need to make sure that every bit of the milk that you're adding is fully incorporated before you add any more. If you don't do this, you'll end up with a lumpy white sauce. Keep whisking, keep whisking. Okay, just keep adding and keep whisking. And this will begin to combine, come together, create a lovely silky white sauce. And this base is used for lots and lots of dishes actually. Really useful skill to have. And there we go. A lovely smooth butter, flour and milk together. And that's going to form the basis along with the egg whites of our souffle. You can add all sorts of different things to a souffle mixture. So what I'm doing, I'm going to add blue cheese, but you could just add a nice cheddar. You can do mushroom purees, you could do spinach. There's all sorts of different additives that you can add that will work really well. You can also make a sweet chocolate souffle. I've never tried this, but apparently it's supposed to be very nice. Okay. At this stage I'm going to add the egg yolks. I must whisk these when I'm adding them, otherwise you're going to end up with scrambled eggs. Stir them through. And then time to add the blue cheese. I've just crumbled the blue cheese and make it easier to melt. You just need to stir that until it's completely melted. Okay, once I've got my blue cheese fully melted in, it's time to incorporate my egg whites. I'll just incorporate 1 spoon of egg white and just gently fold this in. You want to do this nice and gently so that you're not knocking all the air out of the whisked egg whites as you're incorporating. Once you've fully incorporated this, it will be time to incorporate the rest of the egg whites. So it's the second lot of the egg whites. Again, just really gently turning that mixture over until all of those lovely fluffy whites are mixed in. Once the egg whites are incorporated, time to get them into the bowl. Just be really gentle with these egg whites. Once everything's in the bowl, gently transfer it into the oven. Okay, so the souffle's been in the oven for about 45 minutes on 160 degrees and it's now a race against time. The souffle has risen, but as soon as you open that oven door, it's going to start to drop. So let's see, how have we done? And there you can see, lovely, light, fluffy souffle ready to serve.